and we'll keep drifting, floating together through the mysteries, 100 moon mysteries, looping softly, endlessly, through the night. Tonight we'll drift through the moon's hidden far-side landscapes, ancient lava seas frozen in time, and mysterious transient lunar lights. Why the moon rings like a bell after impacts, how its shadow slows Earth's spin, and the strange physics of lunar dust. Lost moon missions, unexplained surface anomalies, and the quiet clues locked inside lunar craters. There's nothing you need to do now. Just let your body sink heavier, heavier. Feel the mattress holding you, every muscle softening, your heartbeat slowing, thump, thump, matching the rhythm of space itself, shoulders melting down, jaw releasing, each breath pulling you deeper, deeper into the calm, the quiet, the dark. If this helps you rest, tap subscribe, comment, and hit like, so others can find this calm too, but only if your eyes are still open. Otherwise, just drift. Now, let's drift into moon. The moon wasn't always there, floating in our sky. 4.5 billion years ago, Earth spun alone, faster then, spinning every 5 hours. Thump, thump, your heartbeat slowing. And then, something the size of Mars, a wandering planet called Theia, collided with our young Earth. Not head-on, but a glancing blow, sliding, scraping, melting. Everything became fire, vaporized rock. A cloud of debris spinning around what remained of Earth. Heavier, heavier. Your body sinking deeper into the sheets. In that ring of molten material, orbiting through the darkness, gravity began to pull, clumping, gathering, and the moon was born from violence, but born into silence. Within 100 years, maybe less, the debris coalesced, formed a sphere, glowing red hot, a molten ball hanging 20 times closer than today. You can feel yourself cooling now, temperature dropping, muscles releasing, thump, thump. The infant moon was an ocean, a magma ocean hundreds of kilometers deep, glowing, churning, convecting in the vacuum of space. And over millions of years, it began to separate, to differentiate. Heavy metals, iron, nickel, sinking down, 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 forming a small solid core, maybe 240 kilometers across, surrounded by a liquid outer core even smaller, even quieter. Your own core relaxing, settling, vertebrae releasing one by one. Lighter minerals floated up through that magma ocean. Plagioclasic crystals, white and bright, accumulating at the surface, forming the first lunar crust, the highlands, the bright terrain you see when you look up, if your eyes were open, but they're growing heavier, heavier. The crust thickened, solidified, while below, the mantle cooled, olivine and pyroxene, dense silicate rocks, making up most of the moon's mass, layer after layer, like you're sinking through layers of sleep. Something strange happened as the crust formed. The side facing Earth grew thinner, maybe because Earth's gravity pulled and stretched, maybe because heat escaped faster toward our planet, while the far side, the side we never see, developed crust twice as thick, 60 kilometers in places, a mystery written in stone, in silence. Thump, thump, your pulse slowing to match the rhythm of ancient formation. Tidal forces between Earth and Moon, grinding, pulling, generated so much heat in those early days. The Moon slowed its rotation, one face turning toward Earth, then staying there, locked, tidal locking, like two dancers frozen mid-spin, the same face watching Earth for billions of years, while the far side remains hidden, mysterious. You're locked too now, locked into your bed, too heavy to move, too relaxed to try. But the Moon does show us a little more than half its surface over time. Libration, a gentle wobbling. The orbit isn't perfectly circular, it's an ellipse. As the Moon travels faster at perigee, its closest approach, and slower at apogee, its farthest point, its face appears to rock slightly east and west, and its orbit is tilted, so we see a bit over the North Pole, then the South Pole. Over time we can observe 59% of the lunar surface swaying, nodding, drifting, like your consciousness now, drifting. The Moon is leaving us, so slowly, receding at 3.8 centimeters per year, about the same rate your fingernails grow, which you can't feel happening, just like you can't feel yourself falling asleep. But it's happening. The tidal bulge Earth creates in the Moon, and the Moon creates in Earth, acts like a brake. The Moon steals rotational energy from Earth, uses it to climb to a higher orbit, year by year, millennium by millennium, thump, thump, drifting farther. 4 billion years ago, the Moon hung huge in the sky, maybe 20,000 kilometers away. Now it's 384,400 kilometers distant on average, but that distance changes. The Moon at perigee, 350-6,500 kilometers, appears 14% larger than at apogee, 406,700 kilometers away. A supermoon versus a micromoon, though your eyes can barely tell the difference. Your eyes so heavy now, heavier, heavier. The Moon's gravity is only 1/6 of Earth's. If you could stand on the lunar surface, which you can't from your bed, you'd weigh so much less, practically floating, and that gentle pull reaches across space, tugging on Earth's oceans, creating tides. The water nearest the Moon bulges outward, pulled toward it, and on the opposite side of Earth, another bulge, pulled away from Earth's center, two tidal bulges, rotating as Earth spins beneath them, thump, thump, like breathing in and out. When Sun and Moon align at new moon and full moon, their gravitational pulls combine, spring tides, higher highs, lower lows. When they're at right angles, first quarter and third quarter, they partially cancel, neap tides, gentler, smaller. The ocean has resonant frequencies too, basins sloshing at natural rhythms, amplifying tides in some places. The Bay of Fundy, 16 meters, while mid-ocean tides are barely a meter. Your own body is 60% water. Maybe the Moon pulls on you too, so gently you can't feel it, just like sleep pulling you down. Earth and Moon orbit a common center of mass, the barycenter, located about 4,700 kilometers from Earth's center, still inside our planet, 1,700 kilometers below the surface, both bodies spiraling around this invisible point, dancing through space while you spiral down, down into deeper sleep. Without the moon, Earth's axial tilt would drift, maybe wobbling between 0 and 85 degrees over millions of years. Catastrophic climate shifts. But the moon's gravity stabilizes our tilt, holding it near 23.5 degrees, maintaining the seasons, keeping Earth habitable, a guardian, silent, steady, watching, thump, thump, your breath steadying, matching that eternal patience. The moon slows Earth's rotation, tidal friction, a gradual break. 4 billion years ago, an Earth day lasted maybe 5 hours, now 24 hours. In the age of dinosaurs, maybe 23 hours. The day lengthening by about 1.7 milliseconds per century. You'll never notice, just like you don't notice yourself aging or falling into sleep. Let's drift through the phases. The moon doesn't glow, it only reflects, sunlight hitting that ancient dust, that regolith, bouncing back to Earth. During new moon, the moon is between Earth and Sun, its night side facing us, invisible, dark, like closing your eyes, darkness complete. Then a sliver appears, waxing crescent, a fingernail of light, growing, thickening. First quarter, half illuminated, half shadow, though we call it a quarter because it's a quarter of the way through the lunar month. Waxing gibbous, more than half, building toward fullness, and then full moon, the moon opposite the sun, Earth between them, the entire face illuminated, bright, glowing, though you're not looking now, eyes closed, drifting. Then the light begins to shrink, waning gibbous, last quarter, waning crescent, back to new. The cycle taking 29.5 days, a synodic month. Thump, thump, your heartbeat following ancient rhythms. Sometimes 2 full moons occur in a single calendar month. This second called a blue moon, though it's not blue, just a quirk of our calendar overlaying the lunar cycle. And when the full moon coincides with perigee, a supermoon, appearing slightly larger, though the difference is subtle. The opposite, a micromoon, full moon at apogee, smaller, farther, all of it drifting through space while you drift through sleep. The harvest moon, the full moon nearest the autumn equinox, rises shortly after sunset for several nights, providing extra light for farmers harvesting crops, a gift from the moon. In autumn, the moon's orbital path makes a shallow angle with the horizon, so it rises only slightly later each night instead of the usual 50 minutes. Your own horizon tilting now, the room rotating gently as you sink. During a lunar eclipse, Earth's shadow falls on the moon, our planet blocking sunlight, but Earth's atmosphere bends some red light around its edge, painting the moon copper, rust, blood red, a blood moon, not frightening, just filtered light, soft, like the red glow behind your eyelids, heavier, heavier, Total lunar eclipses can last over an hour, the moon passing completely through Earth's umbra, its dark inner shadow. Partial lunar eclipses, only part of the moon enters the umbra, and penumbral eclipses, the moon passing through Earth's penumbra, its outer shadow, so subtle many people don't notice. Like the subtle moment you cross from waking into sleep. The moon also enables solar eclipses, passing between Earth and Sun, blocking the Sun's face. A cosmic coincidence. The moon is 400 times smaller than the Sun, but also 400 times closer, so they appear the same size in our sky. Perfect. During totality, the Sun's corona becomes visible, ghostly, beautiful. Thump, thump. Eclipses don't happen every month because the moon's orbit is tilted 5 degrees relative to Earth's orbit around the Sun. Most months the moon passes above or below the Sun's position at new moon, or above or below Earth's shadow at full moon. Eclipses only occur when the moon crosses the ecliptic plane, the nodes, during the right phase. The Saros cycle, 18 years, 11 days and 8 hours, brings eclipse patterns back around. A series of similar eclipses repeating. Ancient astronomers noticed, tracked, predicted, using this rhythm, like your body tracking sleep cycles, drifting through REM and deep sleep, following patterns older than memory. The lunar surface is covered in regolith, a layer of dust and broken rock, pulverized by billions of years of meteoroid impacts. No atmosphere to burn up incoming debris, so everything hits, shattering, grinding, creating powder finer than sand. Between a few meters and tens of meters deep in some places, your blanket feels that heavy now, pressing down, comforting, safe. Lunar dust has strange properties. The particles are jagged, sharp, because there's no wind or water to smooth them. They're also electrically charged by solar radiation and the solar wind, causing electrostatic levitation. Dust particles actually hover above the surface, especially at the terminator, the line between lunar day and night, where electric fields are strongest. Astronauts reported seeing a glow on the horizon, dust suspended, floating, like you're floating now, between waking and sleep. The regolith is mostly oxygen, silicon, aluminum, calcium, iron, magnesium. Oxygen makes up 40% by mass, locked in minerals, but it can be extracted. Future moon bases might pull oxygen from the soil, breathing from stone. Your own breathing so slow now, so shallow, each breath pulling you deeper. Helium-3, a rare isotope on Earth, is relatively abundant in lunar regolith, embedded by the solar wind over billions of years. Helium-3 could fuel fusion reactors if we ever perfect fusion, a treasure scattered across the surface, waiting, silent, patient as moonlight. Water ice hides at the moon's poles, in permanently shadowed craters, cold traps where temperatures never rise above minus 173 degrees Celsius. Sunlight hasn't touched these places in billions of years, darker than the darkness behind your eyes. Water delivered by comets and asteroids, or created when solar wind hydrogen combines with oxygen in the soil, trapped, frozen, preserved. Shackleton Crater near the lunar South Pole, 21 kilometers across, parts of its interior permanently dark, possibly containing substantial ice deposits. The Artemis program plans to land near here, seeking water, because water is life, and hydrogen fuel, and oxygen to breathe. But for now, it's just ice in eternal darkness, waiting. Thump, thump. The moon's surface is scarred by impacts, craters upon craters, because there's no atmosphere, no weathering, no plate tectonics. Craters remain, some billions of years old, perfectly preserved. You can see the large ones with your unaided eye, if your eyes were open. Dark circles on the bright highlands, but they're closed, heavy, sinking. Impact crater rays, bright streaks radiating from young craters, material thrown out during impact. These rays can extend for thousands of kilometers. Tycho crater's rays are especially prominent during full moon. Bright lines crossing the surface, like thoughts crossing your mind, but quieter now, fewer, fading. The dark patches on the moon, the Maria, Latin for seas. Though they're not water, they're ancient lava plains, mare basalts, between 3.9 and 3 billion years ago. Huge impacts punctured the crust, allowing magma from the mantle to well up, flooding the lowlands. The lava flowed, spread, then froze, creating the smooth, dark regions, Mare Imbrium, Mare Serenitatis, Mare Tranquillitatis, the Sea of Tranquility, where humans first touched another world. Heavier, heavier, your body touching the bed, sinking. Oceanus Procellarum, the ocean of storms, is the largest dark feature, not quite circular, possibly formed by ancient volcanic activity rather than a single giant impact, covering nearly 2 million square kilometers. A frozen sea, silent, airless. Your own ocean of thoughts quieting, stilling, like water smoothing to glass. The Maria are mostly on the near side. Why? The far side has thicker crust, harder for magma to break through after impacts. So the far side remains bright, heavily cratered, ancient. The near side shows its volcanic past, dark against bright, yin and yang, balance, like the balance between waking and sleeping, and you're tipping towards sleep. Volcanic activity on the moon ceased billions of years ago. The small size meant it cooled quickly, its interior no longer hot enough to melt rock, but evidence remains. Sinuous rills, channels carved by flowing lava, winding across the surface, and lava tubes. Tunnels where lava once flowed, now empty. Some could be large enough to house entire cities. Natural shelters from radiation and meteoroids. Darkness within darkness, like the layers of sleep, drifting down, down. The moon experiences moonquakes, not from plate tectonics, but from tidal stresses as Earth's gravity kneads the lunar interior, and from thermal expansion and contraction during the long lunar day and night, and from meteoroid impacts. Shallow moonquakes can reach 5.5 on the Richter scale. Deep moonquakes, 700 kilometers down, are weaker but last longer. vibrations continuing for hours because the cold, dry rock transmits seismic waves efficiently. Thump, thump, thump. Your heartbeat, the only quake now. The moon is shrinking, cooling, contracting. Its radius has decreased by about 100 meters over the past several 100 million years. This creates tectonic scarps, cliffs where the crust has thrust upward, wrinkled, like bed sheets bunching as you shift in sleep. Labat scarps kilometers long, evidence of a world growing colder, quieter, stiller. For centuries, observers reported transient lunar phenomena, brief flashes, glows, color changes, especially in areas like Aristarchus crater, some explained by meteoroid impacts, others possibly by outgassing, lunar volatiles escaping. Most remain mysterious, unexplained lights in lunar night, like the strange lights you might see just before sleep, phosphenes, your visual cortex creating patterns, drifting. The moon appears the same size as the sun in our sky, about half a degree, a cosmic coincidence so precise it seems impossible. The sun is 400 times larger, but also 400 times farther away. Perfect geometry, allowing total solar eclipses, the corona visible, that delicate dance of shadow and light. But this won't last forever. The moon is receding, 3.8 centimeters per year, slowly, so slowly. In about 600 million years, the moon will be too far away, too small in the sky to fully cover the sun. No more total solar eclipses, only annular, a ring of fire, the moon too distant to complete the magic. But that's future, deep future. Tonight the moon is still close enough, still performing its cosmic alignment, still creating wonder. Thump, thump, your heart beats steady, unconcerned with millions of years. Photographing the moon is harder than it seems. Point a camera at it, and it often appears as a tiny bright dot, washed out, featureless. Because cameras try to expose for the whole scene, the dark sky, making the moon overexposed, blown out. To photograph the moon properly, you expose for the moon itself, treating it like sunlit rock, which it is. 1/125th of a second, Verleven, ISO 100. Roughly, the dark sky goes black, but the moon reveals its texture, craters, Maria, details, like focusing your attention, narrowing it, letting everything else fall away, the way your awareness narrows now, peripheral vision fading, thoughts simplifying, reducing, down to breath, down to heartbeat, down to nothing. That optical illusion, the moon appearing larger near the horizon than overhead, has puzzled humans for millennia. The moon illusion. The moon doesn't actually change size. You can measure it. Use your thumb at arm's length, same size whether rising or high above, but it feels larger near the horizon. Your brain comparing it to trees, buildings, mountains, reference points creating false perspective. The Ponzo illusion, railroad tracks appearing to converge, making objects between them seem different sizes. Or maybe it's the flattened sky illusion, your brain treating the sky like a dome, expecting the horizon to be farther. So an object there must be larger to subtend the same angle. Explanations multiply, but the mystery remains. Perception versus reality, like the feeling that you're still awake, even as sleep pulls you under, even as consciousness fragments, dissolves, drifts. The moon experiences tidal heating, though much less than Jupiter's moon Io or Saturn's Enceladus. Earth's gravity needs the moon as it orbits. Elliptical orbit means changing distance, changing gravitational pull, flexing the lunar interior, generating heat through friction. But the effect is minimal now. The moon cooled billions of years ago, its interior mostly solid, rigid. The tidal heating can't melt rock anymore, can't generate volcanoes, just tiny amounts of warmth, deep inside, and moonquakes. The only sign of movement in an otherwise dead world. Like your own body cooling slightly as you sleep, metabolic rate dropping, temperature decreasing by a degree or two, energy conserved, everything slowing, quieting, stilling. Comparing Earth's moon to other moons reveals how unusual it is. Most moons are tiny, captured asteroids, irregular shapes, tumbling, or they orbit gas giants. Many moons in complex resonances: Europa, Io, Ganymede, Callisto, dancing around Jupiter, locked in gravitational synchronization, or Saturn's Titan, larger than Mercury, with atmosphere thicker than Earth's, methane rain, hydrocarbon lakes, or Neptune's Triton, orbiting backward, doomed to spiral inward, eventually to be torn apart. Each moon unique, each strange in its own way. But Earth's moon is strange too, large relative to its planet, 1/4 Earth's diameter, 1/1 its mass. Most planets have moons much smaller in proportion, making the Earth-Moon system almost a double planet. Two worlds bound together, unusually close, unusually large, dancing through space as partners. Thump, thump. The Earth-Moon system will continue evolving. The moon receding, Earth's rotation slowing. Eventually, in perhaps 50 billion years, they'll reach equilibrium. The Earth's day will equal the lunar month, both about 47 current days long. Earth and moon mutually tidally locked, the same face of Earth always pointing at the moon, the same face of moon always pointing at Earth. From one hemisphere of Earth you'd always see the moon hanging motionless in the sky. From the other hemisphere you'd never see it. A strange future, alien, but it will never happen. The sun will die first, expanding into a red giant in about 5 billion years, long before mutual tidal locking occurs. Everything ends, but the mathematics describes what would have been. Ghost futures, dreams of physics, like your own future dreams tonight, scenarios that may never be, just possibilities, just neural noise, creating stories from randomness. One day, the moon will be too far away for total solar eclipses. Right now, we're in a golden age, the alignment perfect, but it's temporary, fleeting on geological timescales. In 600 to 700 million years, the moon's angular size will be slightly smaller than the sun's. Total eclipses will cease. only annular eclipses will occur. A ring of sunlight around the moon's silhouette, still beautiful, but not the same. No corona, no totality, no diamond ring effect. Future beings, if any exist, will miss what we have now. This perfect moment in astronomical time when the moon fits exactly over the sun. A gift. Temporary, he's like consciousness itself. Temporary. Precious because it ends. But right now you're letting it end. Releasing wakefulness. Accepting the temporary darkness of sleep. Willingly. Gratefully. Thump. Thump. The moon is a time capsule. Its surface preserves 4 billion years of solar system history. On Earth, plate tectonics recycle the surface, weathering erodes, life disturbs. The oldest Earth rocks are about 4 billion years old, and they're rare. But the moon's surface is ancient, undisturbed, every impact recorded, every layer preserved. Reading the moon tells us what the early solar system was like. The late heavy bombardment, when asteroids and comets pummeled the inner planets. 3.9 billion years ago. Evidence written in lunar craters, in melt rocks, in breccias. The moon remembers what Earth has forgotten, holding memories in stone, like your own deep memories, childhood, infancy, stored somewhere in neural architecture, inaccessible, but still there, still shaping you, still present, buried, quiet. Lunar sample analysis continues to reveal surprises. Those 382 kilograms of rock and soil brought back by Apollo missions, and the samples from Soviet lunar missions, still yielding discoveries, new instruments, new techniques, analyzing isotopes that couldn't be measured in the 1970s, finding water molecules locked in glass beads, finding evidence of the moon's ancient magnetic field, dating tiny crystals to constrain the moon's age. Each sample contains multitudes, each grain a library. Scientists request tiny fragments, milligrams, to study with electron microscopes, mass spectrometers, ion probes, destroying minuscule amounts to learn vast things. And some samples remain unopened, sealed since 1972, waiting for future technology. Patient science. The moon can wait. It has waited 4.5 billion years. What's another few decades or centuries? Time moves differently for stone, for space, for the sleeping. Your own sense of time dissolving now, minutes feeling like hours, or hours like minutes, or time stopping entirely. Glass beads litter the lunar surface, created by impacts, rock vaporized, then condensed into droplets, spherules, cooling as they flew through vacuum, some microscopic, some millimeters across, green glass, orange glass, black glass. The composition depends on what was melted. Mare basalt, highland anorthosite, mixed regolith. Apollo 17 astronauts found orange soil. Shocking colour on the grey moon. Tiny orange glass beads. Volcanic fire fountain deposits. 3.64 billion years old. Each bead a frozen moment. Stone made liquid, then solid again. Transformation preserved. Like thoughts crystallizing into memories. Experiences becoming stories you tell yourself. Fluid made solid. then stored away, deeper, deeper into the archives of your mind, inside some glass beads. Scientists found water, and not liquid water, hydroxyl molecules, O, and molecular water, H2O, trapped when the glass formed, volcanic gases or solar wind hydrogen, locked inside during crystallization, a tiny amount, parts per million, but significant, evidence that the moon isn't completely dry, that water or its components exist in unexpected places, hidden, protected, waiting to be found, like insights hiding in your unconscious, truths you haven't accessed yet, waiting for the right moment, the right dream, to surface, to reveal themselves. Thump, thump. The moon's ultimate fate is uncertain. In 5 billion years, the sun will expand, becoming a red giant, its outer layers reaching perhaps to Earth's current orbit. The moon will be farther by then, spiraling outward, maybe 40 or 50,000 kilometers farther, but probably not far enough. Both Earth and Moon will likely be engulfed, vaporized, their atoms scattered, rejoining the cosmos, or if they survive, they'll orbit a white dwarf, the sun's cooling corpse, frozen, dark, no more sunlight to reflect, the moon invisible in eternal night. Either way, the dance ends, the partnership dissolved. 4 billion years of companionship concluded, but that's so far future it's almost meaningless. Unimaginable stretches of time. The moon will outlive every human, every civilization, every memory, will shine on long after we're gone, patient, eternal, uncaring. Or perhaps something else happens, perhaps humanity, or its descendants, or artificial intelligence, or whatever comes after. Perhaps they move the moon, engineers with million-year plans, adjusting orbits, maintaining the Earth-Moon system artificially, keeping the dance going, defying entropy. Or perhaps the moon is disassembled, mined completely, converted into habitats, spun into ring systems, transformed into something unrecognizable, the ultimate fate unknowable, because intelligence is unpredictable, because the future is unwritten, like your future, tonight, tomorrow, unknown. But right now, this moment, the moon is still there, still whole, still orbiting, and you're still here, still breathing, still sinking, heavier, heavier. The moon has been worshipped, feared, studied, visited, dreamed about. Every culture has moon myths, moon gods, moon stories. The inconstant moon, waxing and waning, a symbol of change, of cycles, of time passing. Calendars based on its phases, months named for moons, harvest moon, hunter's moon, wolf moon, strawberry moon, names connecting celestial mechanics to earthly life, to seasons, to survival. Humans watching the sky, tracking patterns, finding meaning, the moon as calendar, as clock, as muse, inspiring poetry, music, art, werewolf legends, romance, lunacy, the moon in human consciousness, inseparable from human experience. Even now, in an age of science, of spacecraft and samples. The moon still moves us, still makes us look up, still makes us wonder, still pulls at something deep, some ancient recognition, some primal connection. Thump, thump. Future moon bases will need to solve radiation. The lack of atmosphere means cosmic rays, solar particle events, strike the surface unimpeded. Habitat walls need shielding. Meters of regolith piled on top or built underground in lava tubes. Natural caves formed by ancient lava rivers. Some tubes could be kilometers long, tens of meters wide, large enough for entire cities. Shielded by stone, protected, safe. Or habitats could use water as shielding, tanks surrounding living spaces, water stopping radiation while also serving as supplies, engineering efficiency, multiple purposes. But it all requires mass, material, either brought from Earth at enormous cost or mined locally. In situ resource utilization, making do with what's there, living off the land, like you're living off your body's reserves now. Energy stores feeding your sleeping brain, glucose burning slowly, keeping minimal systems running, everything else shut down, conserved, efficient. The moon's exosphere, so thin it barely exists, contains surprises, sodium, potassium, atoms lofted by meteoroid impacts, by sputtering from the solar wind. These atoms follow ballistic trajectories, mini-orbits, some escaping to space, others falling back. The sodium forms a tail, like a comet's tail, streaming away from the sun, pushed by radiation pressure, millions of kilometers long, visible except with special instruments. The moon leaving a trace, a signature written in atoms, across space, like you leave traces, skin cells, exhaled breath, warmth in the sheets, evidence of your presence, fading, dissipating. But right now you're still here, still present, though fading, consciousness dimming, attention diffusing, spreading out like that sodium tail, thinning, nearly transparent. Meteoroid impacts on the moon create brief flashes, visible from Earth during meteor showers, when debris streams hit both Earth and Moon simultaneously. We see meteors burning in our atmosphere and impacts flashing on the moon, stone striking stone at 20, 30, 40 kilometers per second, kinetic energy converting to light and heat. Telescopes monitor the moon during Leonids, Perseids, Geminids, counting flashes, measuring energies, each flash a small crater forming, more scars on ancient stone, more history written. The moon accepting all impact, passive, patient, its surface a canvas, a record, a testament to 4 billion years of cosmic bombardment. Your own body accepting impacts too, the day's stresses, held in muscles, in joints, but releasing now, letting go, softening, accepting rest, accepting peace. Thump, thump. The 2-week lunar day followed by 2-week night creates temperature extremes. In sunlight, 127 degrees Celsius. In shadow, minus 173 degrees. 300-degree temperature swings, more extreme than anywhere on Earth. Mercury's day-night difference is less, Because Mercury rotates faster, Venus has no difference. Its thick atmosphere distributing heat. Mars has moderate swings. Thinner atmosphere but faster rotation. The Moon's slow rotation, its lack of atmosphere, creates these extremes, baking, then freezing, endlessly cycling. But in permanently shadowed craters, it's always cold, and at the poles, on peaks that catch sunlight almost continuously, it's relatively stable. Extremes and moderation, light and dark, hot and cold. The universe loves dichotomies, loves balance, like waking and sleeping is winning now. Darkness spreading, cold settling, your metabolic fires banking, everything cooling, quieting. Ancient moon magnetism remains puzzling. How did such a small body generate a magnetic field? The dynamo theory requires a liquid metal core, convecting, rotating, but the moon's core is small. Did it convect efficiently enough? Was there some other mechanism? Impact-generated fields, brief but intense? Or perhaps the young moon rotated faster, spun by Earth's tidal forces, creating conditions for dynamo action. Then as the moon slowed, tidally locked, the dynamo ceased, the magnetic field faded, leaving only remnant magnetization, fossils of ancient fields, locked in cooled lava, in impact melt, evidence of something lost, like memories of early childhood. You know they existed, but can't access them. Just traces, suggestions, ghosts. Some lunar rocks show magnetic orientation suggesting the ancient field was comparable to Earth's current field. 50 microteslas or more, strong enough to deflect the solar wind to create a magnetosphere. The early moon might have had auroras, charged particles following field lines, glowing. Though in vacuum, auroras would look different. No atmospheric gases to excite, just the field itself, invisible, and then it vanished. The moon's interior cooled, solidified. The dynamo stopped. The field decayed. Within perhaps 500 million years it was gone, leaving the moon directly exposed to space, vulnerable, but also unchanged. Because there was nothing to change. No atmosphere to strip away, no water to evaporate. Just rock, accepting radiation, accepting impacts, silent, patient, eternal. The moon's south pole holds special interest. High ridges catch sunlight almost constantly, 80 to 90% illumination, eternal light, or near enough. Solar panels could generate power continuously, no 2-week nights, and nearby, permanently shadowed craters hold ice, water, hydrogen, oxygen, resources for life, for fuel. The South Pole offers both light and darkness, energy and matter, a perfect location for a base, for a colony, for humanity's next step, but also beautiful in its stark contrasts. Mountains of eternal light overlooking valleys of eternal shadow, extremes juxtaposed, like consciousness and unconsciousness, light and dark, and you're in the valley now, in shadow, in darkness, the light far above, unreachable, and you don't want to reach it anyway. The darkness is comfortable, safe, necessary. Thump, Thump. Shackleton Crater, 21 kilometers across, 4.2 kilometers deep. Its rim catches almost constant sunlight. Its interior remains permanently shadowed. Scientists suspect significant water ice deposits, maybe 20% ice by mass in some locations, protected from sunlight for perhaps 2 billion years, accumulated from comets, asteroids, micrometeorites, and created by solar wind. Each impact delivering a little water, a little ice, building up layer by layer, molecule by molecule, like memories accumulating or experiences layering, building a self, a history, an identity. But you're not that now. You're not your history, not your memories, just awareness, and barely that. Just being, just breathing, just drifting. The moon's receding changes Earth's climate very slowly over millions of years. As the moon moves away, its tidal pull weakens. Tides become smaller. Ocean mixing decreases. This could affect ocean currents, the Gulf Stream, thermohaline circulation. Climate patterns might shift, but the effect is tiny, overwhelmed by other factors, by orbital variations, by continental drift, by atmospheric changes. The moon's influence fading gradually, imperceptibly, like how you don't notice yourself aging day by day, only realize years later you've changed. Time's arrow pointing always forward, never backward, carrying everything with it, including you, into sleep, into tomorrow, into the unknown future. Let it carry you. Stop resisting. Just float, drift, surrender. Scientists debate whether the moon's formation was more complex than the giant impact hypothesis suggests. Maybe multiple impacts, smaller ones, accumulating into the moon. Or maybe a different scenario entirely. A near miss, tidal disruption, Earth and Theia grazing, exchanging material, forming two moons that later merged. Evidence exists for multiple impacts, isotopic variations, orbital dynamics, but the giant impact remains the leading theory. One catastrophic collision, reshaping both worlds, creating the Earth-Moon system in fire and chaos, from violence, creation, from destruction, beauty. The universe doesn't distinguish, doesn't judge, just follows physics, follows gravity, follows quantum mechanics, everything mechanical, deterministic at large scales, probabilistic at small scales. And you're large enough to be deterministic. Sleep will come, must come. No randomness, just certainty. Just biology, chemistry, physics, pulling you down, 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 heavier, heavier. The moon's influence on evolution is debated. Did tides created by the moon help life leave the oceans? Tidal pools concentrating nutrients, providing rhythm, training life for dry land? Or did the moon's stabilization of Earth's axial tilt create a stable climate, allowing complex life to evolve? Or is this all just storytelling, post hoc rationalization? Life might have evolved without the moon, differently perhaps, but still, we only know one Earth, one moon, one history, one timeline. Can't rerun the experiment, can't know what might have been. Just this, just now, just what is, and what is you lying here, breathing slowly, sinking, dissolving, becoming less defined, boundaries blurring. Where do you end and the bed begin? Where does awareness end and unconsciousness begin? The line is fuzzy, indistinct. You're crossing it, or already crossed. Thump, thump, thump. The universe keeps turning, stars forming, you're dying. Galaxies colliding, black holes merging, space expanding, carrying everything apart. The moon orbiting Earth, Earth orbiting the sun orbiting the galaxy falling through space, everything moving, nothing still. But from your frame of reference, from your bed, from this moment, everything feels still, quiet, motionless. The only movement is your breath, in, out, getting shallower, and your heartbeat, thump, thump, getting slower, and your thoughts, fewer now, simpler, just fragments, just impressions. The moon, floating, darkness, sleep, peace, nothing, letting go, releasing, melting into the mattress, into the room, into the darkness, becoming nothing, becoming sleep, and we'll keep drifting, floating together through the mysteries. The moon has no seasons. Its axis tilts only 1.5 degrees, barely anything compared to Earth's 23.5 degrees. So the sun always stays near the moon's equator, never climbing high in polar skies, never dipping low at the equator. No summer, no winter, no spring, no fall, just eternal sameness. The same sunlight angle, year after year, millennium after millennium. Only the 2-week day-night cycle marking time. Everything else constant, unchanging, like the deepest part of sleep, where time stops meaning anything, where there are no seasons, no days, no hours, just the eternal now, the timeless present, drifting, floating, suspended, thump, thump. Lunar caves and skylights have been discovered, collapsed lava tube ceilings, openings into underground chambers. The Japanese Kaguya spacecraft found them. Marius Hills Hole, Mare Tranquillitatis Pit, Mare Ingeni Pit, dark voids descending into stone. Some might lead to vast underground networks, tunnels kilometers long, natural shelters already excavated by ancient lava, constant temperature, -20 Celsius, warm compared to surface extremes, protected from radiation, from meteoroids, from temperature swings. Future explorers might live underground in darkness, like cave dwellers on Earth, but on another world, returning to the cave, the womb, the dark, safe place. And you're in your own cave now. Blankets overhead, darkness surrounding, protected, safe. Your breathing echoing softly, the only sound getting quieter, quieter, fading. The moon's density is less than Earth's, 3.34 grams per cubic centimeter compared to Earth's 5.52, because the moon lacks a large iron core formed from Earth's mantle material, lighter silicate rocks. This lower density means the moon's interior composition differs from Earth's bulk composition. More crust, more mantle, less core, a world turned inside out, The heavy parts stayed with Earth. The lighter parts became Moon, separated, divided, like consciousness separating from unconsciousness. The heavy settling down into sleep, the lighter rising, dissipating, fading away. Your body feeling heavy, your thoughts feeling light, everything finding its proper level, its equilibrium, its rest. Thump, thump, Mare Orientale, the eastern sea, though it's actually on the western edge of the near side, visible from Earth only during favourable libration, a spectacular multi-ring impact basin, 930 kilometres across, concentric rings of mountains, like frozen ripples in stone. The impact occurred about 3.8 billion years ago, during the late heavy bombardment, a massive asteroid or comet strike, excavating deep, throwing up mountain ranges. The outer ring is the Cordillera Mountains, rising 6 kilometers above the surrounding terrain. Then the Rook Mountains, then the inner depression partly filled with solidified lava. Rings upon rings, circles upon circles, like ripples spreading from a stone dropped in still water, but frozen, permanent, a moment of violence preserved for billions of years. You can see similar patterns behind your eyelids, phosphonies creating rings, circles, spirals, your visual cortex generating noise, interpreting it as pattern, hypnotic patterns, drawing you deeper, deeper into the center, into stillness. The moon has swirls of lighter colored terrain, sinuous bright markings. Rhina Gamma is the most famous, in Oceanus Procellarum, bright lanes meandering across the dark mare. No topographic relief, just albedo differences, brightness variations. These swirls correlate with magnetic anomalies. Perhaps the magnetic fields deflect solar wind, preventing space weathering, keeping regolith brighter. Or perhaps the fields attract fine dust electrostatically, creating patterns. No one knows for certain. Just another mystery, another unanswered question. The moon holds many, probably always will. Some things resist explanation, resist understanding, like dreams. You can describe them but never quite capture them, never quite explain why. Just accept the mystery, accept the not knowing. Let it be, like letting sleep be, not analysing it, not questioning, just accepting, surrendering. Thump, thump. Lunar soil is jagged at microscopic scales, no weathering to smooth the particles. Each grain has sharp edges, points and blades. The regolith clings to everything. Static electricity, mechanical interlocking. Astronauts found it invasive, getting into joints, seals, mechanisms, abrasive, like fine sandpaper. It wore through layers of Kevlar on boots, several millimeters of wear in just a few days. Future missions will need better materials, better seals, better design, because the dust is unavoidable. It's everywhere, coating everything, getting into habitats despite precautions, a constant challenge. But also just the nature of the place. The moon is dust, ancient pulverized stone. You can't fight it. Just adapt, accommodate, accept, like accepting sleep, not fighting it, not resisting, just letting it coat you, cover you, gentle pressure, soft weight, sinking down, heavier, heavier, buried in comfort, in darkness, in peace. The Aristarchus Plateau is one of the most geologically diverse regions. Highlands, maria, volcanic features, pyroclastic deposits, sinuous rills, all concentrated in one area. Aristarchus crater itself is the brightest feature on the Moon, only 450 million years old, relatively recent. Its rays extend far across Oceanus Procellarum, and nearby, Valles Schroetteri, the largest sinuous rill, a winding channel carved by ancient lava, 160 kilometers long, 10 kilometers wide in places, called Schroetter's Valley, beginning at a cobra head source, a volcanic vent, then meandering, braiding, finally fading, a river of stone that once flowed, now frozen, silent, like your thoughts flowing, meandering, but slowing now, narrowing, fading, until they stop, until there's just silence, just darkness, just the void. Moondusk glows at the terminator with the boundary between day and night. Astronauts in lunar orbit observed it, a faint glow hovering above the horizon. Levitated dust. Sunlight ionizes particles on the day side. They become positively charged. On the night side, electrons from the solar wind charge particles negatively. At the terminator, where day meets night, electric fields form, strong enough to levitate dust, lifting it meters above the surface, creating a faint atmospheric glow, called horizon glow, a thin haze of suspended particles, not atmosphere, just electrically charged dust, floating, hovering, between light and dark, like you floating between wake and sleep, suspended in the terminator of consciousness, neither fully one nor the other, just hovering, drifting, thump, thump. The lunar laser ranging experiment continues. Scientists fire laser pulses at the retroreflectors left by Apollo missions and by Soviet lunar missions, timing the return precisely, measuring the distance to millimeter accuracy. This is how we know the Moon recedes 3.8 centimeters per year, how we test general relativity, how we study the Moon's interior, detecting subtle wobbles, measuring libration precisely. Data accumulated for over 50 years now. Billions of photons sent. A tiny fraction return, maybe 1 photon per pulse, but enough to measure, to learn, to understand. Patience, precision, persistence. Light traveling there and back. 2.5 seconds. You could count it. 1, 2, but you won't. You're not counting anything now. Numbers meaningless and time meaningless and just existing, just being, just breathing. In, out, so slow, so shallow, barely there. The Apollo missions collected 2,415 samples, individual rocks, core samples, soil, representative of 6 different sites, each site chosen for scientific diversity, different terrains, different ages, basalts from Maria, anorthosites from highlands, breccias, impact glasses, pyroclastic deposits, each sample numbered, catalogued. photographed in place before collection, documented exhaustively, because you can't go back, can't collect more from the same spot, every sample precious, irreplaceable. Most are stored in nitrogen, some in helium, some never opened, waiting, preserved, and scientists request tiny amounts, milligrams, to study, using techniques that didn't exist in 1972, learning new things from old samples. The rocks are patient. They've waited 4 billion years. They can wait a bit longer, like sleep waiting for you. Always patient, always there, and you're finally accepting the invitation, finally stopping the resistance, finally letting go. Thump, thump. Mare Crisium, the Sea of Crises, is a circular impact basin on the northeastern limb, visible from Earth as a dark oval. Due to foreshortening, it appears oval even though it's roughly circular, 555 kilometers in diameter, filled with basaltic lava, 3.9 to 2.5 billion years old. Mare Crisium is one of the few maria on the far side limb, visible from Earth during favorable libration, a window into the far side. From Lunar 24, the Soviet sample return mission, we have samples from here. The only far side samples returned to Earth before Kangi missions. Dark stone, Mare basalt, evidence of volcanic flooding, of a past when the moon was active, molten, alive, now frozen, silent. All activity ceased, like your body's activity ceasing, muscles relaxing completely, no tension, no movement, just stillness, perfect stillness. Your body like ancient basalt, cool, solid, heavy, at rest. The albedo of the moon, its reflectivity, varies across its surface. Fresh craters are bright, 30 to 40% reflectance. Ancient surfaces are dark, weathered by space, 7 to 12%. The highlands average 12%. Maria average 7%. Overall, the moon reflects 12% of incident light, dark compared to clouds, to ice, to snow. Clouds reflect 60 to 90%. Fresh snow reflects 80 to 95%. The moon is more like charcoal, like asphalt, dark stone. It only seems bright because it's surrounded by the black of space, because your eyes adjust, because contrast deceives, like how the smallest light seems bright in deep darkness. Your room is dark now, maybe a little light seeping in, around curtains, under doors, but mostly dark, and getting darker, your eyelids blocking even that tiny light, creating perfect darkness. And in that darkness, consciousness fades, awareness dims, everything going black, soft black, velvet black, comfortable, safe, infinite. Thump, thump, thump. The moon's exosphere, its tenuous atmosphere, changes with time of day. During lunar day, sunlight strikes the surface. Atoms are released. Helium from radioactive decay, argon from the same, sodium and potassium from meteoroid impacts. These atoms bounce around, following ballistic trajectories, some escaping to space. During lunar night, the exosphere thins. Atoms freeze to the surface or drift away. The density is incredibly low, 100 atoms per cubic centimetre at the surface. Compared to Earth's atmosphere, 1 trillion atoms per cubic centimetre. The Moon's exosphere is essentially vacuum, nearly nothing, so thin it's negligible, barely exists. Like your thoughts now, so thin, so sparse, barely existing, nearly nothing, almost gone, just wisps, fragments, fading, dissipating, disappearing into void. Ancient volcanic glass found on the Moon comes in colours: green, orange, red, brown, each colour representing different composition, different source materials. The orange soil from Shorty Crater, Apollo 17 site, tiny glass beads, 40 microns across, formed in a fire fountain eruption 3.64 billion years ago. Lava spraying into vacuum, droplets cooling as they fell, raining glass on the ancient Moon, the green glass from Apollo 15, different composition, different eruption, each colour a snapshot of ancient volcanism, of different magma chemistries, of different moments frozen in time, beautiful in microscopic scale, translucent spheres, coloured jewels scattered in grey dust, hidden beauty, waiting to be found, like insights hidden in your unconscious, waiting for the right dream to bring them up, to make them visible. But tonight, no insights needed, no revelations, just sleep, just rest, just letting everything settle, everything quiet, everything still. Thump, thump. Impact melt from large craters creates sheets of once molten rock. The energy of collision, kinetic energy converting to heat, melting vast quantities of material. This melt flows, pools in low areas, then solidifies, creating impact melt sheets. Some are kilometers thick, cooling slowly, forming coarse crystals, similar to igneous intrusions on Earth, but formed by impact instead of volcanism. The Oriental Basin has extensive impact melt, the Imbrium Basin, the Serenitatis Basin, ancient violence creating new rock, destruction and creation simultaneous, the universe transforming, recycling, nothing truly created or destroyed, just rearranged, just transformed, like your consciousness transforming now, from wake to sleep, not destroyed, just changed, rearranged into different patterns, different configurations, thoughts becoming dreams, awareness becoming unconsciousness, the same mind, just transformed, just different. Thump, thump. The Moon's terminator, the shadow line between day and night, shows the most dramatic terrain. Long shadows, high contrast, mountains casting shadows hundreds of kilometers, crater walls sharp in relief. When the terminator crosses a feature, shadows lengthen, detail emerges. Then the sun climbs higher, shadows shrink, detail fades. The best time to observe a feature is when the terminator crosses it. Maximum relief, maximum drama. Then it fades back into the bright sameness, or the dark sameness. Depending on phase, everything visible depends on lighting, on angle, on perspective. Like how you see yourself differently depending on mood, on context, on the light you're in. But in darkness all things are equal. All details fade, everything becomes uniform, and you're in darkness now, internal darkness. The terminator of consciousness has passed. The light faded. Just shadow now. Just night. 2-week night. Deep sleep coming. Here. Thump. Thump. Lunar meteorites on Earth. Pieces of the moon. Blasted off by impacts. Orbiting the sun. Eventually intersecting Earth's orbit. Falling as meteorites. Over 300 have been found, mostly in Antarctica, in hot deserts, where they're easy to spot. Dark stones on ice or sand. Analysis shows they match lunar samples. Same oxygen isotope ratios, same compositions, but from unknown locations. Random sampling. Pieces from anywhere on the moon. Maybe far side, maybe poles, regions we've never visited. Nature doing sample return for free, though without context, without knowing where they came from. Their scientific value is limited. Still, they're pieces of the moon, fallen to Earth, travelled millions of kilometres, millions of years, returning home in essence, like you returning to sleep, to the unconscious, to the place you came from this morning, cycling, returning. Everything cycles, everything returns. Thump, thump. The moon's gravity field is lumpy, not uniform. Mass concentrations under Maria, mascons, create stronger gravity in those spots, weaker gravity over highlands. This affects spacecraft orbits, pulling them off course. Early lunar orbiters experienced unexpected orbital decay, crashes into the moon, before mascons were understood. Now they're mapped, compensated for, but they make low lunar orbit unstable, difficult to maintain. Most lunar orbits need periodic adjustments, burns to counter the perturbations, or they naturally evolve, change shape, eventually crash. Nothing in lunar orbit is permanent, not without active maintenance, like consciousness. It requires effort, energy. Without that, it fades, collapses, returns to the default state, sleep, unconsciousness, the ground state, and you're returning there now, the effort ending, the maintenance stopping, just letting gravity pull you down, down, into the mascon of sleep, into the heavy center, irresistible, inevitable. Thump, thump. Future missions plan to use lunar resources, in situ resource utilization, making oxygen from regolith. Lunar soil is 40% oxygen by mass, locked in minerals, but it can be extracted, heating regolith with hydrogen or electrolysis, breaking chemical bonds, freeing oxygen. It takes energy, solar power or nuclear, but the oxygen is there, abundant, enough for breathing, for fuel. Water ice at the poles can be split, electrolysis again, hydrogen and oxygen, rocket propellant. The moon could be a refueling station for missions to Mars, to asteroids, to deep space. Using lunar resources instead of launching everything from Earth. The moon as stepping stone, as gas station, as supply depot, but that's future, possibility, potential. Tonight the moon is just the moon, silent, patient, waiting as it always has. and you're just you, breathing, existing, fading, not building anything, not planning anything, just being, just sleeping, almost sleeping. So close now, so close. Thump, thump, thump. The universe expands, space itself stretching, galaxies receding, everything moving away from everything else. But locally, gravity dominates, Earth and Moon bound together, the Milky Way and Andromeda approaching, local group gravitationally bound. On small scales, gravity wins. On large scales, expansion wins. The universe's fate, heat death, big rip, big crunch, unknown, unknowable, beyond prediction. The equations suggest heat death, eternal expansion, cooling, thinning, until stars burn out, black holes evaporate, even atoms decay. Everything ending in cold, dark, quiet, maximum entropy, perfect equilibrium. But that's trillions of years away. Unimaginable time. Tonight the stars still shine. The moon still orbits. And you still breathe. Still exist. Still sink into sleep. Personal entropy increasing. Organization decreasing. Thoughts scattering, dissolving, returning to noise, to randomness, to chaos. But comfortable chaos. Peaceful dissolution. Letting go. Releasing. Melting. Drifting. Gone. Thump. Thump. And we'll keep drifting. Floating together through the mysteries. When Apollo astronauts set up seismometers, they discovered something strange. After deliberately crashing lunar modules and rocket stages into the surface, the moon rang like a bell, vibrations continuing for over an hour. On Earth, seismic waves dampen quickly, absorbed by water, by fractured rock. But the moon is dry, cold, dense. The vibrations echoed through it, reverberating. A hollow sound, some thought, though the moon isn't hollow, just different. Ringing, ringing, softer now, fading like consciousness fading. Thump, thump. Between 1969 and 1972, 12 humans walked on the moon, Apollo 11 through 17, except 13, which never landed. They explored 6 sites, each carefully chosen, different terrains, different ages. Mare Tranquillitatis, Oceanus Procellarum, Fra Mauro, Hadley Rila, Descartes, Taurus Littrell. Each crew collected samples, set up experiments, left footprints that remain, because there's no wind to erase them, frozen moments, preserved forever, like memories crystallizing as you drift towards sleep. The astronauts left retro-reflectors, panels of special mirrors that reflect laser beams directly back to their source. Scientists on Earth fire lasers at these reflectors, timing how long light takes to return, measuring the distance to the moon within millimeters. This is how we know the moon recedes 3.8 centimeters per year, by watching, measuring, year after year, light traveling there and back, 2.5 seconds, while your thoughts travel slower. Slower? Heavier. The Soviet Union never landed cosmonauts on the moon, but their robotic lunar missions achieved remarkable things. Lunar 2 was the first human-made object to reach the moon in 1959, impacting the surface. Lunar 3 photographed the far side for the first time, showing us what had been hidden. Lunar 9 made the first soft landing, and Lunar 16, 20, and 24 returned samples to Earth, robotic arms scooping regolith, launching it home. No humans needed, just machines, patient, precise, working in silence. China's Chang'e missions have continued lunar exploration. Chang'e 4 made the first landing on the far side in 2019. In that radio-quiet environment, shielded from Earth's electromagnetic noise, instruments listen to the universe, studying the cosmic dark ages before the first stars formed. Radio telescopes on the far side could detect faint signals impossible to hear from Earth, whispers from the infant universe, so quiet, so distant, like the whisper of your breath now, barely audible. The Artemis program aims to return humans to the moon, landing near the South Pole, establishing a sustainable presence. Astronauts will stay longer, explore more, utilize lunar resources, in situ resource utilization, making oxygen from regolith, extracting water from ice, living off the land. A new world becoming home, but that's future, tomorrow, distant. Right now there's only tonight, only this moment, drifting. Living on the moon would be strange, dangerous. The lack of atmosphere means no protection from radiation, galactic cosmic rays, solar particle events. Habitats would need thick shielding, or be built underground in lava tubes, or covered with regolith, meters of lunar soil piled on top, pressing down, like your blanket pressing down, heavy, protective, safe. The lunar day lasts 2 Earth weeks, followed by 2 weeks of night. Temperature extremes beyond imagination. In sunlight, 127 degrees Celsius, hot enough to boil water. In shadow, minus 173 degrees Celsius, cold enough to freeze carbon dioxide. Habitats would need powerful heating and cooling, managing these extremes, while you need nothing, your body regulating itself, cooling slightly as you sleep, thump, thump, matching the rhythm of slow time, mining the moon, extracting resources. Sounds like science fiction, but becomes more practical with each mission. Oxygen locked in minerals, metals for construction, rare earth elements, helium-3 for future fusion. The moon could become a resource base, a stepping stone to deeper space, or remain untouched, pristine, a natural monument. Time will tell, but time is slow on the moon, so slow, like your perception of time now, stretching, thinning, dissolving. The far side of the moon is radio silent. Earth's bulk blocks all radio signals from our planet, a perfect location for sensitive radio astronomy. A lunar radio telescope, far from interference, could detect the faint radio whispers from the cosmic dark ages, the epoch between the Big Bang's afterglow and the first stars, frequencies we cannot study from Earth, secrets waiting in the silence, deep silence, like the silence filling your room, filling your mind. The moon's gravity isn't uniform. Large mass concentrations, maskons, exist beneath some maria, dense basaltic lava, or fragments of the impactors that created the basins. These gravitational anomalies perturb spacecraft orbits, pulling them slightly off course. Early lunar orbiters were puzzled by these invisible tugs, now mapped, understood, but still subtly influencing everything in lunar orbit, like invisible currents in the ocean of space, currents pulling you deeper, deeper into sleep. The moon has almost no atmosphere, just a tenuous exosphere, so thin it's barely there. Atoms of helium, neon, hydrogen, argon, so diffuse that atoms never collide, each following its own ballistic trajectory. Some atoms escape to space, others are replaced by solar wind, or by radioactive decay of elements in the regolith, an atmosphere you could never breathe, never feel, nearly nothing. Like the thoughts in your mind now, nearly nothing, fading. Surprisingly, the moon has a sodium tail, sodium atoms lofted from the surface by meteoroid impacts and solar radiation. These atoms stream away from the sun, pushed by light pressure, creating a faint tail millions of kilometers long, invisible to the unaided eye, but detectable with instruments. The moon leaving a trace across space, while you leave no trace in sleep, disappearing into darkness. Meteoroids constantly strike the moon, without atmosphere to burn them up. Every pebble, every grain hits at full cosmic velocity, kilometers per second, vaporizing on impact, creating tiny flashes. These flashes have been observed from Earth, brief sparks, especially during meteor showers when debris streams hit the moon and Earth simultaneously. Light and heat from ancient stone, ending in an instant. Thump, thump, your pulse marking time. The temperature difference between lunar day and night is extreme. During the 2-week day, the surface bakes. At night it freezes. No atmosphere to retain heat, no winds to distribute warmth. Each point on the surface swings between extremes, except in permanently shadowed craters, where it's always cold, always dark, and near the poles, where some peaks catch sunlight almost constantly, peaks of eternal light, while valleys remain in eternal shadow. Light and dark, hot and cold, extremes, while you rest in the narrow, comfortable range, your bedroom, your bed, perfectly balanced, perfectly still, because there's no atmosphere, there's no weather on the moon, no clouds, no rain, no wind. The sky is always black, even in daytime. Stars visible alongside the sun, if you could look without being blinded. A changeless sky, eternal, patient. The only changes are shadows moving as the sun crosses the sky. Over 14 Earth days, so slow you'd never see it move. Just notice it's different. Hours later, like sleep, you never catch the moment you fall. You just realize you're already dreaming. Ancient moon rocks reveal something unexpected. Remnant magnetism, locked into minerals. Evidence that billions of years ago the moon had a magnetic field, possibly generated by a liquid metal core. Dynamo action, like Earth's magnetic field today, but the lunar dynamo ceased. The core cooled, solidified, and the magnetic field faded, leaving only frozen memories in stone, magnetized crystals pointing to a field that no longer exists, ghosts of the past, like memories surfacing as you drift, then sinking back into darkness. Some regions still show weak magnetic anomalies, possibly from ancient lava flows or from impacts that created intense but brief magnetic fields. These magnetic anomalies might deflect the solar wind slightly, creating tiny sheltered regions. Not protection, just curiosities. Variations in an otherwise exposed surface. Your own mind creating variations now. Dream images beginning to form, fragmentary, strange. Cultures around the world have woven the moon into their myths. A goddess, a god, a rabbit pounding rice, a face, the man in the moon, calendars based on lunar phases, months tracking the moon's cycle, month and moon sharing the same linguistic root. The Islamic calendar is purely lunar, 12 lunar months, shorter than a solar year. So holy days drift through the seasons. The Hebrew calendar, Chinese calendar, add extra months to stay synchronized with seasons. Lunisolar, balancing moon and sun, like balancing wake and sleep. And sleep is winning now. The moon influences human circadian rhythms, or does it? Studies conflict. Some suggest the full moon disrupts sleep slightly, others find no effect. Confirmation bias, selective memory. We notice when we sleep poorly during a full moon, forget the countless full moons when we slept fine. The moon may tug on our water, our bodies, but the effect is vanishingly small, more psychological than physical. Still, the folklore persists. Werewolves, lunacy, moon madness, the moon affecting behavior, mood. Though tonight it only helps you sleep, gently, deeply, thump, thump. Animals do respond to lunar cycles. Sea turtles emerge to lay eggs during full moons. Corals spawn in sync with lunar phases. Nocturnal animals adjust activity based on moonlight. Predators hunt better when it's bright. Prey hide more carefully. The moon orchestrating life, conducting, though the musicians are unconscious of the conductor, like your body conducting itself now, breathing, heart beating, digesting, all without your awareness, automatic, ancient, perfect. The moon illusion, that phenomenon where the moon appears larger near the horizon than high overhead, is just an illusion. The moon doesn't change size, but your brain interprets it differently, comparing it to trees, buildings, landscape features, the Ponzo illusion, depth perception tricks. What feels bigger is actually the same. Perception versus reality, like the feeling that you're still awake when really you're already halfway into sleep. The boundary blurring, dissolving. The moon's orbit is more complex than a simple ellipse. Earth's equatorial bulge perturbs it. The sun's gravity pulls on it. Jupiter's distant tug affects it slightly. The orbit precesses, its orientation rotating. The ascending node, where the moon crosses the ecliptic plane heading north, moves westward, completing a circuit in 18.6 years. This causes slight variations in tides, in eclipse patterns, in moonrise positions, complexity within regularity, chaos within order, like your sleeping brain, following patterns but never quite repeating exactly. Lunar orbit perturbations were studied intensely. Isaac Newton used the moon's motion to test his theory of gravity, finding discrepancies. The one problem that made his head ache. Later mathematicians refined the calculations, including more factors, more interactions. The three-body problem, Earth, Moon, Sun, has no perfect solution, only approximations, getting better and better, infinitely close but never exact, like describing the moment you fall asleep, infinitely close, but always just out of reach. The Moon is Earth's only natural satellite. Some planets have dozens, some have none. We're lucky, or perhaps not luck, perhaps necessity. The Moon stabilizing Earth's climate, moderating our tilt, slowing our rotation to a comfortable day length, making Earth more habitable. Maybe life needed the Moon. Or maybe we only think so because we evolved with it. Either way, it's there, always there, watching, silent, thump, thump. Scientists have proposed capturing asteroids to orbit Earth, creating artificial moons, or construction of massive space stations, O'Neill cylinders, Stanford Torrey, rotating habitats at the L4 and L5 Lagrange points, where Earth's and Moon's gravity balance, stable parking spots. But these are human creations, temporary, fragile. The Moon is eternal, or nearly so. It will outlast humanity, still circling, still reflecting sunlight, long after we're gone. Deep time, geological time, astronomical time, and you're sinking into personal time, dream time, where minutes are hours, or hours are seconds, or time stops meaning anything. The Apollo astronauts described the Moon's surface as magnificent desolation, beautiful in its starkness, its alienness. No life, no water, no air, just stone and dust and shadow. And yet, not hostile, just different. A place that doesn't care. The universe doesn't notice you, doesn't judge, and that's oddly comforting. You can let go, stop performing, stop worrying, just be like a rock on the moon, existing. Nothing more required. Heavier, heavier. Dust on spacesuits was a problem. It got everywhere, into seals, joints, scratched faceplates. The astronauts said it smelled like gunpowder when they brought it inside. Spent firearms, a burnt metallic smell. On Earth, lunar dust is oxidized and inert, but in lunar vacuum, the surface of each grain is chemically active, reactive, like your mind is reactive to stimuli during the day, but passive now, receptive, quiet. Future moon explorers will need to manage dust carefully, airlocks to brush it off, charging systems to repel it electrostatically, because the dust is so fine, so sharp, it could damage equipment, lungs if inhaled. A challenge, but solvable. Humans are good at solving problems, engineering solutions. But tonight, your only task is to let go. Stop solving. Stop trying. Just drift. The moon moves 12 degrees across our sky each day, shifting eastward against the background stars, which is why it rises about 50 minutes later each night. That shift, that drift. If you watched carefully, night after night, you'd see it walking through the constellation, through the zodiac, taking a month to return, but you're not watching. Eyes closed, attention turned inward, following your breath, in, out, slower, slower. Selenology, the study of the moon, from Selene, the Greek goddess, sister of Helios the sun. In myths, she drives her chariot across the night sky, pulled by horses or oxen, depending on the telling. Now we know there's no chariot, no goddess, just physics, gravity, momentum. But the name remains, and the wonder. Looking up at the moon, humanity has always wondered, felt pulled, felt connected. Thump, thump. The moon's surface area is about 38 million square kilometers, roughly the same as Africa, or the combined area of North and South America, an entire world of terrain, mountains and valleys, craters and plains, and we've explored only a tiny fraction, 6 landing sites, each only a few square kilometers. So much remains unknown, unseen, waiting, like the parts of your mind you never examine, vast unconscious territories, and you're sinking into them now. Some craters have central peaks, mountains at their centers, material that rebounded after impact, splashing up like a drop falling in water, frozen mid-splash. These peaks can be kilometers high, and some catch sunlight even when the surrounding crater floor is dark. Islands of light in seas of shadow. Your own consciousness like that. Points of awareness in the gathering dark, but fewer now, dimming. The South Pole Aitken Basin is the largest known impact crater in the solar system, 2,500 kilometers across, 13 kilometers deep on the far side. An ancient collision, perhaps 4.3 billion years ago, exposing deep crustal and upper mantle material. Studying this basin tells us about the moon's internal structure, its differentiation, its history, layers of time compressed into stone, like layers of memory compressed in your mind, oldest at the bottom, buried, unreachable except in dreams. Tycho crater, bright and prominent, formed relatively recently, just 108 million years ago, when dinosaurs walked the Earth. Young by lunar standard, its rays extend over 1,500 kilometers. Bright splashes of excavated material, higher albedo than the weathered surrounding surface, space weathering, micrometeoroid bombardment, slowly darkens exposed rock over billions of years, breaking it down, pulverizing, creating regolith, time grinding everything to dust. But there's no hurry. Time moves slowly on the moon, and slower still in sleep. Thump, thump. Aristarchus crater is the brightest spot on the moon. Young, reflective, about 450 million years old. It sits in Oceanus Procellarum, bright against dark. This region has more reported transient lunar phenomena than anywhere else. Glows, color changes. Observers centuries ago saw reddish spots once, called them moon burns, most likely outgassing, radon escaping from deep below, ionizing the thin exosphere, creating faint glows, or simply tricks of seeing, atmospheric distortion, imagination, but recorded, noted, part of the mystery. Earthshine, that phenomenon where you can see the dark part of a crescent moon faintly illuminated, is sunlight reflected off Earth onto the moon, then back to us, light bouncing twice. Earth's oceans and clouds reflect well, making our planet bright in the lunar sky. Astronauts on the moon would see Earth shining, 4 times brighter than the moon appears to us, and always in the same spot in the sky because of tidal locking, never rising, never setting, just hanging there, blue and white, swirling with life. Thump, thump, but you're not there. You're here, sinking deeper. The moon has been moving away from Earth since its formation. That dramatic difference. Early on it orbited at 20,000 kilometers. Now 384, soon 400. Eventually, billions of years from now, it will reach a stable distance when Earth's day equals the lunar month. Both bodies mutually locked, the same face of Earth always facing the same face of Moon. But that's perhaps 50 billion years away, and the Sun will have expanded into a red giant long before then, consuming Earth and Moon both. Everything ends, but slowly, so slowly, and right now, tonight, the moon still hangs in the sky, and you still breathe, in, out, existing in this moment, this eternal moment. The moon influences Earth's climate subtly. Tides create currents, mixing ocean layers, distributing heat. The lunar pull on the atmosphere, though tiny, may influence weather patterns. Hard to detect, hard to prove, but remove the moon, and Earth would be different. How different? Hard to say. Models conflict, but perhaps rainier, perhaps more extreme. Perhaps life would never have emerged, or perhaps it would have thrived. We only know the world with the moon, this world, this reality, where you lie in darkness, breathing, drifting. No human has set foot on the moon since 1972. Over 50 years, half a century. Flags left behind have been bleached white by unfiltered sunlight, UV radiation breaking down the dyes. Footprints remain sharp. Abandoned equipment sits where it was left. The lunar module descent stages, rovers, experiments, all still there. Museums under vacuum, perfectly preserved, or slowly degrading from thermal cycling, expansion and contraction, microfractures spreading. Either way, unchanged by wind or rain because there is none. Time passing differently. Thump, thump, your own time slowing, stretching. Plans to return to the moon cycle through political priorities. Budgets shift, schedules slip, but eventually humans will go back, perhaps to stay, perhaps to build cities, rotating sections generating artificial gravity, or underground, in lava tubes, protected from radiation and temperature extremes, hydroponics growing food, 3D printers fabricating tools from regolith, slowly, patiently, making the moon home, but maybe not. Maybe the moon remains untouched, a monument to where we went once, where we might go again. Future uncertain, but the moon waits, patient, eternal. Some propose the moon as a genetic backup, storing DNA, seeds, embryos, in cold, dark craters, insurance against extinction. If Earth is destroyed, the moon remembers, though who would retrieve the backup? Unclear. Still, the idea persists, the moon as library, as vault, as time capsule, holding humanity's legacy, even after we're gone, sleeping, dreaming, preserved in ice. The colour of the moon is grey, not white, though we often think of it as bright. Its albedo is only about 12%. It reflects just 12% of the light hitting it. Charcoal is darker, fresh asphalt is similar. The moon only seems bright because it's surrounded by the black of space, and because our eyes adjust to darkness. Contrast makes it glow, like how a small lamp seems bright in a dark room. But objectively, the moon is dark stone, catching a fraction of sunlight, offering it back, quietly, gently, like a whisper in the night. Lunar swirls, strange bright markings, meander across some regions, especially on the far side. These swirls are associated with magnetic anomalies. Perhaps the magnetic fields deflect the solar wind, preventing space weathering, keeping the regolith brighter. Or perhaps the fields attract fine dust particles, creating patterns. No one knows for certain. Just another lunar mystery, unexplained, like the mysteries of your own mind. Why you think what you think, feel what you feel, most of it hidden, unknown even to yourself. The Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, still circling the moon, mapping it in extraordinary detail, photographing the Apollo landing sites, seeing shadows of equipment left behind, tracks where rovers drove, proof we were there, if proof were needed. Its cameras can resolve features smaller than a meter, reading the moon's surface like a book, page by page, line by line, learning its history, its composition, its secrets. But there are always more secrets, deeper mysteries, and maybe some things are meant to stay mysterious, unknown, like the boundary between waking and sleep. You're crossing it now, or already crossed, can't tell. The moon's gravity creates Earth's tidal bulge, but that bulge doesn't point exactly at the moon. Earth's rotation drags it ahead, friction from water flowing over ocean basins, and this misaligned bulge pulls on the moon, accelerating it in its orbit, which makes it climb higher, spiraling outward. Newton's third law, every action has a reaction. The moon pulls Earth's tides push the moon away. Mutual influence, mutual change, over eons, thump, thump, your heartbeat and breath influencing each other, slowing together, synchronized, harmonized. Ancient eclipse records help us understand how Earth's rotation has changed. Babylonian observations, Chinese records, Arab astronomers, noting eclipses at specific times, Comparing those to calculations, scientists determined that days were shorter in the past. The moon was closer. Tidal friction has been slowing us, lengthening our days. 1.7 milliseconds per century, barely perceptible, but over millions of years, significant, deep time where small changes accumulate into transformations, like how small moments of relaxation accumulate into sleep. Almost there now. Almost. The moon has no global magnetic field, but localized anomalies create mini-magnetospheres, tiny bubbles protecting small regions from the solar wind. These don't affect human-scale things, but at microscopic level they influence how the regolith weathers, creating variations, patterns, differences too subtle to see but measurable with instruments. The universe is filled with such subtle influences, invisible forces, like gravity pulling you down into the mattress, down into sleep, imperceptible but undeniable. Lunar samples brought back by Apollo, 382 kilograms total, are still being studied. New technologies reveal details impossible to see decades ago. Tiny zircon crystals, nanodiamonds, isotopic ratios, each sample a library, each grain a paragraph. Reading the history of the solar system, some samples remain sealed, unopened, save for future scientists with better tools. Patient science. The moon can wait. It's good at waiting. It's been waiting 4.5 billion years. What's a few more decades? Time doesn't mean the same thing to stone or to the sleeping thump. Thump. Earth and moon share a gravitational bond, but also a chemical connection. Isotopic ratios in lunar and Earth rocks are nearly identical, supporting the giant impact hypothesis. The moon formed from Earth's mantle, torn away, then reassembled. Family, siblings, made of the same material. Looking at moon rock is looking at Earth's deep interior, brought up and out, scattered across another world, pieces of home, 384,000 kilometers away, but always connected, always in orbit, always dancing. If you were standing on the moon, Earth would hang in the sky, 4 times larger than the moon appears from Earth, and it would go through phases. New Earth, crescent Earth, full Earth, exactly opposite to the moon's phases. When we see a new moon, an observer on the moon would see a full Earth, bright, blue, alive. But you're not on the moon. You're in bed, under gravity, under blanket, heavy, comfortable, safe, and the moon is above, doing what it's always done, reflecting, orbiting, waiting, the far future, billions of years. The sun will expand, becoming a red giant, swelling to perhaps Earth's current orbit. The moon will be vaporized, unless it spirals outward fast enough, escaping, but probably not. Probably both Earth and moon will end, consumed by the dying sun, all traces erased. The universe continues, uncaring, creating new stars, new planets, maybe new moons, the cycle repeating endlessly. Birth and death, light and dark, sleeping and waking, but mostly sleeping now, deeper, deeper. The moon may have had a thicker atmosphere briefly after formation, when it was molten, outgassing, but it leaked away into space. The moon's gravity too weak to hold it. Only 1/6 Earth's gravity, not enough. Like trying to hold water in your hands, it slips through. The atmosphere escaped, leaving vacuum, silence. The way your thoughts are escaping now, slipping away, leaving silence, empty, peaceful silence. Some of the moon's craters are perfectly circular, impact straight down. Others are elliptical, oblique impacts from angles. The physics of hypervelocity impacts. Strange, counterintuitive. Even glancing blows create nearly circular craters because the projectile vaporizes, acts like an explosion, symmetrical. Exceptions exist, very shallow impacts. But most craters are round, ordered, geometric, like the patterns behind your eyelids, mandalas of darkness, spiraling, geometric, hypnotic. The universe keeps turning, the moon keeps orbiting, Earth keeps spinning. All the mechanics, all the forces, gravity and momentum, angular motion and tidal friction, playing out on timescales beyond human comprehension. And you're part of it, a collection of atoms, arranged temporarily into awareness, experiencing this moment. But the atoms don't care. They've been here billions of years. They'll be here billions more, sometimes in a person, sometimes in stone, sometimes in the moon. Everything is everything, just temporarily arranged differently, and you're dissolving back into the everything, boundaries blurring, self-releasing, melting into the universe. Thump, thump, heartbeat fading into the background. Just one more rhythm among countless rhythms. The moon's shadow moves across Earth during a solar eclipse, 100 to 160 kilometers wide, racing east at over 1,600 kilometers per hour. Darkness at supersonic speeds. For a few minutes, the shadow touches you. The moon blocks the sun. Temperature drops. Stars appear. Day becomes night. Totality. Then it passes. Light returns. But the memory remains. Having stood in the moon's shadow, touched by darkness. Like you're in darkness now. Comfortable darkness. Natural darkness. The darkness of closed eyes, of rest, of sleep. Ancient peoples built monuments aligned to the moon. Stonehenge's station stones track the moon's 18.6-year cycle. Lunar standstills, when the moon's rising position reaches its northern and southern extremes, then reverses. The builders understood, watched, recorded, without instruments, just patience and observation. Over generations, they knew the sky, knew the patterns, used them to mark time, to plant crops, to schedule ceremonies. The moon as calendar, as clock, as constant companion. Always there, mostly there, waxing and waning but always returning. Reliable, predictable, thump, thump. Your breath is barely perceptible now, shallow, slow. The room is quiet, the universe is vast, and the moon is up there, somewhere. Maybe rising, maybe setting, maybe directly overhead, shining down through atmosphere, through clouds perhaps, or clear sky. Photons travelling 384,400 kilometers through vacuum, then through air, potentially through your window, across your floor, but you're not seeing them. Eyes closed, mind quiet, body still, heavier than the moon, gravity pulling you down, into earth, into bed, into sleep. The moon doesn't care if you see it. It shines on oceans, deserts, cities, forests, war zones, places of peace, shines on everyone, everything, impartial, indifferent, just reflecting. That's all it does. Catches sunlight, sends it back. Passive, accepting, like you're passive now, accepting sleep, not fighting, not resisting, just allowing, being pulled gently into rest, into darkness, into dreams. When you dream, maybe you'll dream of the moon, walking on grey dust under black sky, earth hanging overhead, silent footsteps, no sound, just vision, just experience. Or maybe you'll dream of something else entirely. It doesn't matter. Dreams come as they will, uncontrolled, uncensored. Your unconscious mind taking over, processing the day, inventing stories, random neural firing, creating meaning or meaninglessness. Just let it happen. All you have to do is sleep, and you're almost there. Almost heavier. The moon rises and sets, follows its path, obeys gravity, has no choice, no will, just follows physical law, orbital mechanics, and you follow your own nature, biology demanding rest, circadian rhythms, homeostatic sleep pressure, adenosine building up all day, making you sleepy, tireder, and now releasing. Sleep chemicals flooding your brain, GABA, melatonin, shutting down the wake systems, lighting up the sleep systems. You can't fight it, shouldn't fight it. Just let go, thump, thump, thump. The universe is vast and cold, mostly empty space. But here you are, warm, comfortable, protected, on this tiny planet with its unlikely moon. Both of you spinning through the void together, held by invisible gravity. And tonight, for these hours, you'll be unconscious, unaware, your body repairing itself, your mind consolidating memories, processing emotions, filing away the day, while the moon continues its orbit, patient, eternal, uncaring, beautiful, remote, always there, even when you can't see it. Like sleep is always there, waiting for you to accept it, to sink into it, to disappear. The universe keeps turning while the moon watches silently overhead, and we'll keep drifting, floating together through the mysteries, 100 moon mysteries, looping softly, endlessly through the night. Tonight we'll drift through the moon's hidden farside landscapes, ancient lava seas frozen in time, and mysterious transient lunar lights, while the moon rings like a bell after impacts, how its shadow slows Earth's spin, and the strange physics of lunar dust, lost moon missions, unexplained surface anomalies, and the quiet clues locked inside lunar craters. There's nothing you need to do now. Just let your body sink. Heavier. Feel the mattress holding you, every muscle softening. your heartbeat slowing, thump, thump, matching the rhythm of space itself, shoulders melting down, jaw releasing, each breath pulling you deeper, deeper into the calm, the quiet, the dark, and we'll keep drifting, floating together through the mysteries